Every morning, before your alarm goes off, before the coffee, before the first thought of the day has even finished forming, he's already there, nose on your face, paw on your arm, eyes wide open, staring at you like the day simply cannot start until he knows you're okay. You probably laugh a little. Push him away gently. Say something in your half-asleep voice, and then you get up, move into your morning, and don't think about it again. It's just his thing. It's just routine. It's just how he is. But what if that moment, the one you treat as the most ordinary part of your day, is actually the most important one? What if that little check-in he does every single morning isn't random? Isn't hunger? Isn't him being needy? What if it's a precise response to something he's detecting in you during the first seconds you're awake? Before you've even had the chance to feel it yourself? Because anxiety doesn't start in traffic. It doesn't start in the meeting, or the argument, or the moment something goes wrong. It starts in the morning. Sometimes before you even open your eyes. And your dog knows that before you do. The easy explanation is that he's hungry. That's what most people land on. He just wants to be fed. He knows my schedule. He's trained himself to wake me up because breakfast comes next. And sure, there's some truth in that. Dogs are smart. They learn routines. Food is a real motivator. Nobody's arguing with that. But here's what that explanation doesn't account for. Why does he wake you differently on different days? Why is he more insistent on the mornings when something is already weighing on you? Before you've said a word, before you've checked your phone, before you've given him any signal at all that today is harder than yesterday, why does he press closer, stay longer, check on you more carefully on exactly the days when your mind is already heavy before it's even fully awake? Hunger doesn't explain that. Hunger is consistent. Hunger follows a schedule. What your dog is doing is something far more precise than responding to a clock. He's responding to you. To the specific version of you that shows up each morning. To something he's reading in your body before your conscious mind has even had the chance to catch up. This isn't about his needs. This is about him recognizing yours. Before you do. There's something researchers call anticipatory morning anxiety. It's the state where the brain, as it exits sleep, begins loading the weight of the day before the day has actually started. Your heart rate picks up slightly. Thoughts begin organizing themselves around worries. Your body wakes up in threat mode. Even while you're still lying down, still warm, still physically safe. It's one of the quietest and most exhausting forms of anxiety that exists, because it hits at the exact moment when you have the fewest defenses, when you're still halfway between the dream and the real world, when your nervous system is exposed in a way it won't be again for the rest of the day. And that is precisely the moment your dog shows up. He's not there by accident. Dogs have developed, over thousands of years of living alongside humans, a remarkable ability to monitor the physiological state of the people they live with. They detect changes in your breathing pattern during sleep. They sense shifts in your cortisol, the stress hormone that naturally begins rising in the early morning hours. They read your body before you've had the chance to read it yourself. So when he comes to you, sniffs you, nudges you, insists on your attention with that quiet and steady persistence, he isn't just being cute. He isn't just following instinct blindly. He is creating an interruption. A gentle but precise break in the anxiety cycle before that cycle has the chance to build momentum. And here's what most people completely miss about that. The first few minutes after waking are a critical window for your emotional state for the entire rest of the day. What happens inside that window sets the tone for everything that follows. If you wake up alone, reaching immediately for your phone, already consuming news and notifications and the weight of other people's urgency, your brain enters reactive mode. And once it's there, it spends the rest of the day trying to climb back out. But if you wake up with a living presence beside you, one that carries no agenda, no demands, no stress of its own, your nervous system receives a completely different signal right at the start. It receives safety. It receives warmth. It receives the quiet but powerful message that the day does not have to begin as a threat. That's not a small thing to hand someone in their most vulnerable moment of the day. That's actually one of the most important things you can give a human mind. And your dog has been giving it to you every single morning. But there's something even more specific happening inside that morning ritual. Something that goes beyond the biology, beyond the cortisol and the nervous system and the threat response. Something that operates at a level most people never stop to consider. It's consistency. And for an anxious mind, consistency isn't just comforting. It's medicine. Here's why. Anxiety feeds on unpredictability. It thrives in the space of what if and maybe, and I don't know what's coming. It grows strongest in the gaps, the moments where the mind can't find solid ground, can't locate something reliable, can't point to anything and say, "This I can count on." Your dog, every single morning, without exception, without a bad mood that makes him skip it, without a hard week that makes him pull back, without any condition attached to his showing up, appears. Same energy, same presence, same complete and total certainty that his first order of business is making sure you're okay. And that repetition does something to your brain over time that a single moment never could. It builds an anchor, not a metaphorical one. A real neurological anchor, a pattern your brain has logged as reliable evidence that not everything is uncertain, that not everything is unpredictable, that there is at least one thing in your day that will not surprise you in a negative way, will not withdraw, will not show up differently depending on its mood or circumstances. Think about how rare that is in adult life. Most of the things that cause anxiety are unpredictable by nature. People change, situations shift, the ground moves, and the brain, trying to protect you, stays in a constant low-level scan for what might go wrong next. It's exhausting. It runs in the background of everything, every conversation, every decision, every morning before you've even had coffee. But your dog cuts right through that scan. Every morning he shows up, your brain adds one more data point to a growing file that says, "This is consistent. This one thing will not be taken from you today." And over weeks and months and years of the same ritual, that file becomes something your nervous system leans on without even realizing. He just showed up one morning, and then the next, and then every single one after that, because something in him recognized that this was where he was supposed to be. And slowly, quietly, without either of you marking the moment it started, it became the thing that holds your mornings together. So let's stay here for a moment, because this isn't just about your dog. This is also about you, about the version of you that wakes up some mornings already tired, already heavy, already carrying something that hasn't been given a name yet, but sits right there on your chest before the day has even asked anything of you. About the mornings when the simple act of deciding to get up feels like a negotiation with yourself that you're not sure you're going to win. Most people never connect that experience to what their dog does next. But your dog connected it a long time ago. He learned the difference between the mornings when you wake up ready and the mornings when you wake up defeated. He knows the version of you that springs out of bed and the version that lies still a little too long, breathing a little too carefully, like you're trying to hold something together before the day has a chance to shake it loose. He memorized both, and he made a quiet decision, one you never asked him to make, that the second version needed him more. So that's the version he shows up hardest for. This is where it becomes about something deeper than routine. Because what your dog is doing on those hard mornings isn't just cute. It isn't just sweet. It is a form of witnessing. He sees the version of you that you hide from everyone else. The unguarded, unperformed, unfiltered version that exists only in those first moments before you've put yourself together for the world. And he doesn't look away. He doesn't give you space out of discomfort. He moves closer. Think about how many people in your life have seen that version of you. The real morning version. The one before the coffee and the composed face, and the answers you've prepared for how you're doing. Not many, maybe none. Your dog sees it every single day, and every single day he responds the same way. With presence, with warmth, with you thought the morning check-in was for him. His routine. His hunger. His need for reassurance that you were still there. Still his. Still the person he built his whole world around. But that was never the whole truth. Because while you were busy thinking you were the one taking care of him, he was quietly, consistently, without any recognition or reward, taking care of you, showing up at the exact moment your mind was most exposed, interrupting the anxiety before it could root itself into your day, handing your nervous system a signal of safety during the one window where it needed it most and had the least ability to find it on its own. Every single morning. Without fail. Without asking anything in return. Think about that. On the mornings when the weight was heaviest, when opening your eyes already felt like too much, he was there before you even had to face it alone. He closed the gap between sleep and the world with his presence. Made sure the first thing your senses registered wasn't dread, wasn't silence, wasn't the cold open space of another hard day beginning. It was him. Warm. Steady. Certain. Maybe he was never checking on you because he needed to know you were okay. Maybe he was checking on you because he already knew you weren't. And he refused to let you start the day alone with that. Tomorrow morning, when he does it again, don't rush past it. Before you check your phone, before you think about what's waiting for you today, before the weight of everything has a chance to settle in, just take a second. Look at him. Feel the warmth of that presence that was there before you were even fully conscious, before you had anything to offer, before the day had given you any reason to feel okay. He showed up anyway. He always does. And somewhere in all those ordinary mornings you moved through without stopping to notice, something was being built. A quiet kind of healing that didn't announce itself, didn't ask for your attention, didn't need you to understand it in order to work. It just needed you to keep waking up. And he made sure that part was never something you had to do alone. So the next time someone tells you it's just a dog, just a habit, just an animal following, that wasn't nothing. That was everything. If this made you think of your dog differently, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want more about the real ways dogs shape the humans who love them, we have a lot more where this came from. We'll see you tomorrow morning.